ahead and get started. Good afternoon. I'm John Stemberger, and I'm President and General Counsel of the Florida Family Policy Council. And usually when I'm up here in a suit in my role as an advocate, a lawyer, a lobbyist, a political consultant. But today I'm really here in my role as a father, primarily with my daughter Hannah, one of my 4 children. And we're here today really with hundreds of pictures that children have drawn all over the state of Florida. And we're here on a matter today which, in my 30 years of advocacy up here, on at least legislative issues, this is the most important issue that I've advocated on in 30 years. We're here with a coalition, each different church, each different leader, each organization is a separate, distinct organization, but we're here united around one particular thing, and that is to request Governor Scott to veto HB 7013. Each of these drawings represent children around the state who have been cared for by foster care and by adoption agencies that were faith-based in the state of Florida. Imagine for a moment if these cardboards were blank and had no pictures. And that is really what we're talking about if faith-based adoption agencies close. If Governor Scott does not veto 7013, these faith-based adoption agencies around the state will close. If this bill passes, these agencies will be threatened and attacked legally by one of 23 so-called non-discrimination ordinances around the state, both city and county ordinances that have created a new protected class for sexual orientation and are being used as a weapon to punish Christians around the country. And specifically, we're here today concerned about Christians who are engaged in foster care and adoption work. Now, the reason that we know this is true, and this is going to happen for one simple reason, because we're seeing it happen right now all across the country. Massachusetts, after 100 years of service, Catholic Charities closed. In the state of Illinois, after 40 years of service, Catholic Charities closed. In Washington, D.C., faith-based adoption agencies have closed because, for the simple reason that they prefer to do a placement between a married mother and father, which really, honestly, is in the best interest of children. I think all the social science research bears that out. So, and what happens is that these agencies are being accused of discrimination when the issue is not discrimination. The issue is whether or not we can exercise our freedom of religion in the context of caring for the orphans, and whether or not what's in the best interest of the child as well. If faith-based child placement agencies in Florida, under the current Republican leadership in the House, the Senate, and the governor's mansion, are closed in the state of Florida, it'll be nothing less than a moral and a political tragedy. The notion by our opponents that somehow there'll be less children served by this bill passing and faith-based adoption agencies closing is just really ridiculous. It's ridiculous. If faith-based adoption agencies do not exist, each one of these pieces of artwork that represents a child goes without care, and the problem becomes greater, not less. Private-public partnerships with faith-based agencies are a vital part of American life, whether it's talking about fighting for human trafficking, homelessness, providing disaster recovery, hospitals. There are many areas of public life in which Christians provide valuable services to promote the common good of Florida citizens. And we need to protect faith-based entities, especially those doing the most valuable work of caring for our most precious resource of children. This bill started out as a good bill, providing subsidies for special needs adoptions. It was sadly hijacked in the House and turned into a bad bill, which now directly threatens the very people who are a major part of the solution, not the problem. The bill was originally created to bring a solution. It's now created a problem that overwhelms any solution it may have had. And look, the next legislative session is in January 1st, 2016, or a couple days from that. Very short time away. But here's a coalition, again, for one purpose, and that's to ask Governor Scott to veto House Bill 7013 and send it back to the legislature with a message. The message is this: send this formerly good bill back without the poison pill or with conscience protection, and then I'll pass it. Religious liberty and the right to exercise of religion has been and should always continue to be one of the most fiercely protected rights that government preserves for her citizens. I'd like to introduce you now to Daria Monroe. She's the Executive Director of